This is the beautiful gamepad here on the Lithium Project channel. I am Lithium Project. This is a Japanese exclusive from the Game Boy Advance from 2006 called Calciobit, I think, by way of a developer called Bit that I've never heard of. I had a very quick look beforehand to see could I navigate this to the point that I could actually play a round of football. I have managed it. By the looks, I think this game is quite kind of tactics, I want to say football manager based, but there's definitely more going on behind the scenes than just play some football. I can't really speak to it too much because, again, I don't speak Japanese, but from the brief amount that I can see, you've got some options here. I'm guessing there's stuff around like being able to do training. I'm guessing that's the date. That I know is at least where you play the next football game, so we'll be able to get to there at least. And then I think here, which is where they'll take us to first, is where you basically decide your squad or find new players. And then there's actually a fair amount, which is here, which goes into a fair amount of detail about the kind of stats of each player, their cost, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I'm sure it's like a mobile equivalent of Football Manager, which there literally is a mobile version of Football Manager, which is the one I typically play. But yeah, as you can see here, it has like your team set up, and it goes into a fair amount of detail by the looks of it. Like, it'll go into the first player, and you'll get like an actual card and see all of their different stats. Which obviously, I'm sure this is all completely fictional in terms of the actual players and whatnot, but it's pretty cool to have this level of detail. But it's all totally lost on me, so we'll flash through this as quickly as possible, and then we'll actually try and get into a game of football. And this is where, you know, language is universal, because trying to figure out the controls to even some of these Western games from that are like slightly more obscure is difficult enough. So I've had plenty of practice. I'm sure we should be fine here. Oh, we're out. Just go around in circles there. So let us get into a game of football. They are packed to the rafters for Calcio versus Minami. Oh my god, we actually have like crowd participation. I don't remember the name of the DS football game that I played a while ago now, but it definitely does seem like these handheld Japanese football games have... Oh my... Whoa, what are we doing here? Okay, so we are not a traditional football game at all, are we? What? What is the... Okay. No, it doesn't pass to him, so how... What do I actually achieve here by selecting that player? Is it literally just... Is it literally... That I think... My guess is I was wondering there at the start if that was like some kind of version of like RTS where you're like changing and making tactical decisions on the fly by picking specific players and asking them to do something. But it doesn't look like it. I think it's literally I can pick that player and I can sub them out. So I'm guessing this is very much like a kind of football manager game, I think. I always find it fascinating with Japanese games about, and I guess Japan in general, where like you'll have some stuff that is in kanji or I can never remember like how Japanese text is displayed and what it's called, but like sometimes you'll get random stuff that's in English, and I've more of a not an understanding, but I've seen more of this in practice through the likes of like wrestling. I watch a lot of Japanese wrestling, and what things are characterized in Japanese and what's characterized in English. And I don't know if it's just that certain words don't like have a translation that really makes sense. They just go for the English, or what? I've no idea. If anyone from Japan ever watches this, please give me more detail. Or I'm sure I have Japanese friends I could just ask. But yeah, I guess it means there's not really much I can do with this game, because I think it's kind of like with Football Manager, where you set out your plan and your strategy beforehand, and your tactics. You then just let the game play out, which is kind of what's happening here. So it's going to be even that much more difficult to actually review this thing, because like, I mean, football management game, like football managing games in general, I'm not really touching, because like, how the fuck do I rank them or review them in relation to like actual football games? You know, they're two different types of games. So, but I have started this. I'm recording this. Like, this will go on the list, maybe harshly, but hey, there's a very cool website that I use that is not only just like a great place to find ROMs, it's also a very good place to find really obscure ROMs, and like it's updated in every day. There's like new stuff being uploaded, but it also does a really good job of uploading like fan translations and ROM hacks, which I think is really exciting, because you know there's obviously, as a Westerner, there is a significant bulk of games that I either do not know about or I do know about, but they are in Japanese, so it makes them slightly like, it makes it tougher to get into them, depending on the type of the game it is. So we've seen stuff over the last, 10, 15, 20 years where, whether it's a Japanese a JRPG that never had a Western release getting a full English translation, or stuff like earlier this year with Kaze no Noten, which is a game that I'm a big fan of, which is like this hot air balloon simulator style game, and that, while it doesn't have a lot of text, it still has enough that sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to know how to navigate around it, and that had an English like fan translation. Like over the last couple of days, I've been seeing like Portuguese fan translations, like just really awesome stuff that the community does to keep these games alive or presents them to a new audience. So wouldn't it be cool if wait, can I record? Oh, he's not happy with me, is he? I'm sorry. Right, can I? Man, this is gonna be. I'm guessing that's just like stats and data. Oh wow, I can just change their position. Alright, okay. Fair enough. Okay, is this like training? But oh, can we do virtual reality? I like the presentation. I think that like the UI that is a bit basic, but the actual like setup there of seeing the players in the changing rooms from the isometric view is pretty cool. But yeah, like I'm guessing like you can try and train players to do specific roles like you would in Football Manager, and that's very cool. Alright, my defender here, he needs more heart. Can I train him to have more heart? Have more heart. Do it. Do it now. Maybe I have to, like, buy stuff. Maybe I need money to do that. It's hard to know. It's hard to know. Oh, well, we can actually... Oh. Can I set, like, the level of pressing that we do? That's where you press up to. Yes. Oh, yeah, so we can, like... That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that is where we want the team to play from. Oh. No, I want to set like a 4-2-3-1. That's not where the 9 plays. Alright, let. Music is kind of insane. How do I move you? I don't want to do... I don't want a 4-2-2. It's an antiquated system. It doesn't work anymore. Oh my god. Yeah, this... I ain't gonna get anywhere with this, am I? Well, fuck did that do? It's a shame. I'd be really curious to see... Can I just go to the next match? Why does everyone look so furious with me? Azul Volcano! Well, I'm definitely going to lose to them. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly how to rank this because, like, I can't play it, you know? But it's a really... I like seeing little games like this, you know, that clearly just like, look, we can't do... Or maybe they... It was always in mind they wanted to make, like, a football manager game instead of trying to do, like, a handheld football game that might have not worked for them. I don't know. But I'm definitely getting sacked, like, even before the end of the season at this rate. So, I think we'll leave it there. This is going to be tough. There we go. This is going to be tough to rank because, like... How? Where do I put you, Calciobit? Because, like, I can't play you, but you have nice presentation, and I think that there's some intent there to do some interesting stuff. And if there was a English fan translation, it would be slightly more navigable. So, River City Soccer Hooligans, that was the other handheld game I was thinking of. That was interesting because that had the sort of, like, kind of quasi Dragon Ball Z / Mario Strikers power up type gimmicks and whatnot. Which this plays it, I think, a little bit more straight than that. It's a little bit more po-faced. But I think I'd probably have it above, like, most of these just because I think there's a charm to what it's trying to do. I think I might just tuck it. I think I'm just going to tuck it behind River City Soccer Hooligans. Yeah. You can tell it's been a while since I've done this. Yeah, sure. There we go. Fuck it. Calciobit, you can have the 38th position. I got nothing else to base it on other than pure vibes. So, there we go. I got a couple of Japanese exclusives here from the website I was talking about earlier. So we will have a look at Power Soccer, which is the Kitty Group game. And we've done a Kitty Group game already. Where are you, you bastard? Yeah, Soccer Mania for the Game Boy. So I'm guessing this is probably like the, well, That was the port of this, would be my guess. And then World Fantasista, which is a Square Enix game. Square Enix made a football game. What the fuck? I've not looked at any of that whatsoever, so I'm really fascinated to see what that looks like. So we'll get to that fairly shortly. But look, that'll do it for now. A weird little episode, but it was there in front of me, so it had to be done. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your likes and your subscribes. And I guess we'll see you again for another installment of the beautiful gamepad. Peace.